How do you get a bag from a bag drop from the Hermes US website? Does non-quota bags also are going to add to your pre-spend? What are the chances of getting into the lottery system? And what do you do if your SA actually do not answer your text message? Answering some of the most asked questions at Hermesgame in Reddit. So let's go ahead and talk about this, you guys. But first, if you're new to my channel, my name is Sigrid. You may call me Ziggy. I talk about luxury handbags, real estate, travel, finance, and minimalism in this channel. If you can do me a favor, a lot of you guys have watched my videos a whole lot lately, and if it would help, would greatly appreciate it if you can like, subscribe, and share my channel so I can do more of these videos for you guys, and I promise to improve every time I do any of these videos. That is a promise I am willing to take. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started, you guys. I just, been scrolling through Reddit lately, and I've just noticed like there's a lot of these questions that, I think a lot of us also have the same questions. And so let's go ahead and just kind of dive deep into this and then maybe answer some of those questions. So the first question here really is that bag drops from the Hermes website, right? So how do you get a bag from a bag drop from the Hermes US website? Because you can see some get a bag, a gypsier, a mini bolide, a bolide, a picotin, all of the non-quota bags are now being dropped at the Hermes website. How do you get one? So the first thing that I would say is that first, you have to log into your account already. Apple Pay is the best way to do this if you wanted to make sure that you can get a bag, and you have to be quick. You have to have at least just 10 seconds to decide whether you're going to get it or not. If you are still contemplating about it, if you're just thinking about it, forget it. By the time that you already are thinking about it, it's gone. It's gone. And the reason that I'm telling you guys this is because I know by experience, and I'll tell you why. Because if you look at this bag right here that I bought this actually in the Hermes website. So when I bought this, I had to be quick. So, and this was back in 2022 when I bought this online. So, it is a possibility that you can buy any of these really beautiful bags, but you have to be quick. And then there's also people that are saying that there are bots that are buying it, or you can hire bots for buying any of that stuff. As far as bot goes, I really don't know if that is a real thing or not, but I know for a fact, and I know for sure, that if you are quick enough and you are there at the right time when the bags drop, you'd be able to snag one of these bags, no questions about it. So the second question that alludes to that too is, does non-quota bags also are going to add to your pre-spend to get a quota bag? And I think the answer to this really is a no. The reason why is because when I asked my SA about this, he said, if you see something and if you see really, really like a bag that you see in the website, just go for it. All he said is that we are all consumers, and so if you love it, if you want it, just go for it, right? So I really don't think that bags that are non-quota bags count as a pre-spend. However, it counts towards your spending power, so to speak, from the boutique, because you bought it from the boutique, and so they have the total amount of money that you've already purchased in Hermes. It still counts in a way, but as a pre-spend for buying another handbag that is a quota, that I don't think so. So just keep those ones in mind as well. And then another question that I've seen was, if you are going to Paris, what are the chances of getting into the lottery system? So a lot of you guys, I know this because I've done it myself. I went to Paris in the hopes of getting a Birkin and a Kelly, and listed my name every single day along with my friend, just so that we can get into the lottery system. Unfortunately, I'm one of the unlucky few that wasn't able to get any appointments online. And so if you are going to Paris, have very, very low expectations that you'll be able to get a bag there as well. It is a hit or a miss, but do not plan your trips to go there just for the sake of buying those handbags. Plan those trips because you want to go see Paris. Plan those trips because you want to go on vacation. And if it doesn't happen, then at least you are not coming home sad without a handbag. That's the truth. And so, a lot of people are also saying that there's already a pre-spend, and that they also look at your profile now in Hermes in Paris to see if you've spent money before giving you a bag. So that in that case, I think that it does help too. I'm sure it does help. Not my experience again, because I bought a few things when I was in Hermes in Paris, but I was lacking time, so I can't really so to speak about if whether or not buying things there left and right would actually help you score a bag. But based on all of these conversations again in Reddit, it looks like that is what's happening. If you have more history and buying power, that you've already bought a few things in Hermes in Paris, you'll highly likely have a better chance. And of course, being at a luck at the same time, getting a sales associate to be able to help you at that point. Now, another tip is that you go early and then ask also if there are any cancellations. Probably not gonna be like they're gonna have the some cancellations perhaps, or whatever, what have you, but again, those are very, very minimal and so little that having that chance is also really, really hard. Now, let's discuss other people who are coming from not Paris, but rather, from London or probably Italy or probably, other parts of the EU that are just flying into Paris to go get their handbags. So some of these people are actually being able to secure an appointment. However, securing an appointment in Hermes Paris does not necessarily mean that you are gonna get a quota bag. Again, let me repeat that. Having an appointment does not necessarily mean that you're gonna get a quota bag, because the problem is that now, they offer all of these appointments. However, there are also other handbags that they offer. And based on what other people are also talking about in social media, Reddit, and also here in YouTube, not all of them are lucky to get a quota bag. They're being offered one, either a Picotin, a Her bag, or any of the bags, a Gypsy, any of the bags that you can actually snag online if you are lucky enough to do so too. So there's really no guarantee that when you get these appointments that you are guaranteed also a quota bag, a Birkin, a Kelly, or even a Constance for that matter. So again, it all comes down to luck. Now, should you do it? I think that you should try, but have very, very low expectations that you'll be able to get any of these bags. It is harder than you think, all right? And so, and then there's also some questions that I've seen in Reddit about, what do you do if your SA actually do not answer your text messages, right? And you thought you clicked with an SA, but then, all of a sudden you're texting them, you're asking them certain questions, you're wanting things from the store, and then they basically ghost you and they don't reply back to you. What do you do at this point? Okay, this I have an experience, so I can share. Anyway, so my experience for this, you guys, is that if your SA, for that matter, stops texting you, let's say you text him and then you wait for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and he hasn't replied back. Maybe he's sick, maybe he's on vacation. So text again one more time, and then ask them the same question, and then phrase it again and ask them whatever question that is, like, do you have this scarf, do you have this this jewelry that I'm looking for? If yes, please let me know or add it to my wish list, that type of thing. Or if you are trying to make an appointment and they don't reply back, that type of thing, just ask them again and say, hey, I wanted to make an appointment, that type of thing, right? So this happened to me. I texted my SA twice and he never replied back, and this was the time when I think I've already spent about 17,000 maybe, and I was frustrated because I didn't know what to do. I thought we clicked, and that he never replied back. So what I did at that point was, and this is, I think I could recommend for everybody, if they ghost you out like that, just go and surprise them and go to the store and see them and look for the exact same essay. That's exactly what I did. I went there on the 10 o'clock one of the Saturdays, and he saw me, and then he panicked. You can see in his face, he panicked because he thought that, he made a double booking. So when he saw me, and he said, Ziggy, I do have an appointment at 10 o'clock, but do you think you can wait? And I said, yeah, absolutely, I can wait. I'll just browse the store and then go look at other things that you might have. And so we had that agreement. So he had a appointment at 10, so I waited there until around 10:45 before he got to me. And so when he got to me, he said, I apologize, but I thought I replied back to your email, or to your text, but then I didn't see that I actually sent it to you, so my apologies. And I said, that's all right, that's fine, I'm here to shop, so I was hoping you can help me. And so we kind of looked around some other things and all that stuff, but then I also posed this question and said, I understand that you're busy, and I understand that you have a lot of clients, and I'm just one of the few, but I would like to kindly ask you, how do you think is the best way to communicate? If I wanted to make an appointment with you, would you rather me send it to you 2 days in advance, a week in advance, or 2 weeks in advance? What are your preferences? That way, I know, so that way we can go ahead and have this open conversation and have this open communication, that when I text you, you can text me back whether or not I can come in for an appointment or not. So at that point, he basically just said, yeah, 1 week in advance was okay, and also if you wanted to 2 weeks in advance, that's okay too. So he opened up that communication, and I think there's two folds or two parts that happen here. One, either like what he said, he forgot to text me, and he thought he texted me, but then because he was so busy that he didn't send the send button. That's one. Or two, it could possibly be two, that he really just ignored me, and then thought maybe, well, I might not be a big spender, who knows, right? And maybe this is just in my head, and it's probably not even the reality. However, these things that just really happen, and then you have all of these thoughts in your head that they are not paying attention to you, that you are not a valuable customer, that all that stuff, right? It just runs through your head, and you're just like, oh, maybe he just doesn't want me, or maybe like this, yada 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 yada, whatever, all of these negative stuff that's running in your head, the what ifs, the what ifs, the what ifs, the what ifs. If you get into that cycle, all I can tell you guys is that shush it, and then just call the boutique and ask them if your essay is working on that day. And if they are working on that day, or if they are scheduled to work on that day, just pop in and just tell them like, hey, like I said, have just an open communication with them. And guess what happened? Right after I talked to him after that and bought, my husband's shoe and mine on that day, 2 months later, I got offered the Constance. So it could be just that, like I said, he might have really forgotten it, or it could also be that he was testing and see if, I was going to switch SAs, or maybe it was just, it's just something that they do purposely to see if you're going to reach out again or whatever, right? I mean, like I said, these are just thoughts processed at the back of my head. That doesn't necessarily mean they are true, and it could possibly be 100% that he just forgot to text me. However, don't think this out so complicatedly that you get stuck, right? Don't think about it so don't just complicate things and just get stuck with it. What I would say is, text them once, twice, they don't reply back, then phone the store and go show up one of the days where you know that they're there, and look exactly for them, and then have a conversation with them about their preferences of communication. Do they like email? Do they like text? Do they like call? Whatever, right? Have that open communication with your SA. So anyway, there's a lot more questions and answers in Reddit, you guys, that I have been looking at and stuff like that, and different things about how to get a quota bag, what are the pre-spend or pre-spends, also going to reset. So there's one more thing, so maybe this will be the last one that I'll be discussing, and then we can resume some of these other question and answer and some of the other videos that I'll also be making, right? So the other question that I've just been looking at in Reddit was that will your pre-spend reset once you get a quota bag? So a lot of the people here in the US thinks it is, but some of the people that are more experienced says it's not. So there were people that have gotten their quota bag, and then just after a few $1,000s that they spent, they got their second quota bag. So I think that a lot of these people are saying that pre-spend is really not resetting for your second quota bag or your third or your fourth, but rather showing your loyalty really is. And again, I don't have any experience for this because I haven't even gotten one quota bag. Unless you consider Constance a quota bag, then probably, right? But again, I don't have any experience for this, and I'm only speaking based on what I have been reading in Reddit and looking at social media. So don't quote me on these ones, right, you guys? So anyway, what they're saying is that the pre-spend does not reset, at least in the United States of America, but only in the US. I don't know what are the other rules that are going on in the UK or rules in other areas of the country, or even areas of the world, what have you, right? So anyway, again, there is no magic formula in Hermes but to spend. That is the only magic formula in Hermes, is to just spend. And Mel in Melbourne also talks about this, where when she got her exotic Birkin bag, that she spent a good amount of ratio so that she can get her bag. But she also talked about the pre-spend, that it was less for the exotic bag rather than buying just the regular leathers too as well. So anyway, you guys, these are the questions and answers that I just wanted to discuss with you guys today, on this video. But obviously there's a lot more to unpack. So maybe what we could do is I could do, a few of these other videos, like a series of these question and answers that we can go ahead and talk about. So let me know down in your comments below, what are your experiences? Share your experiences to the community. Share your experiences to people who love Hermes as much as you and I do. We all love to hear what you have to say about all of these things. Again, you guys, my name is Sigrid. You may call me Ziggy. I talk about luxury handbags, real estate, travel, finance, and minimalism in this channel. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and please do like and subscribe, and also make sure to check out some of my videos as well. Thanks everybody for watching. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.